What's good, YouTube? Look, I got some crazy analogy for how basketball is the exact same as Pokemon. When you first start the game and you choose your starter Pokemon, these are no one ever actually chooses the starter Pokemon based on the first stage evolution. We're looking at that third stage evolution of what it can become. That's like a first round draft pick. You drafted Trae Young because you think he can become a Stephen Curry. Just like Chimchar, you pick Chimchar, you end up wanting Infernape, and as a trainer you start developing them really fast. You start training them, giving them XP. Just like Trae Young, first rookie season, no one else on the team, he's taking all the shots. The role players, these are your Weasels, your Staraptors, your Butterfrees, complementary pieces to cover the weaknesses of your first option, right? So if you're Trae Young, you look to sign Clint Capella to bring in some of that defense that Trae Young lacks, right? When you pick Chimchar as your starter and you fight Rorik on the first gym, you might lose to him a few times. So in the off season, you look to sign a Weasel to create favorable mismatches for your team. Then you got your HM slaves. These are your dirty work players, diving for loose balls, getting rebounds, and just sitting in the corner. All their job is to do the dirty work, and they don't get any moves on offense. You can't teach them shit. If they get a layup, sure, that's fine. But you're not the coaches aren't looking to train these players. They know what their job is, and they should just be lucky that they have a roster spot on the team. You might even throw them out there to hack a Shaq, get them their 6 fouls. Take some hits for your star players. But if they even try to develop, no, they get sent back to the PC. Also, you got some pseudo legendaries. One of my favorites. They are your Steph Currys, your Giannis's, your Jokic's. First stage evolution, super weak, really weak. But it takes a lot of time and experience to get these guys into their third evolution. And the third evolution becomes very, very scary. If they get the XP they need, they become, star players. There's so many of these players that are stuck in the first stage, second stage evolutions because their trainers are too lazy to, train them, give them some experience, and, they forever get stuck in that second evolution. Another thing is, be careful with the pseudo legendaries, because once they do hit that third stage evolution, they might start butting heads with the star player, and you might have to send one to the PC, or you might have to look to trade a player because there's a better option. And then you have your Pokemons that only evolve through trades. They're not in the right situation. You think about your Machamps, your Alakazams. They need a trade to another team in order to evolve. So James Harden going from OKC to Houston, he didn't become James Harden until he got to Houston. Pau Gasol's, Zach LaVine's, they're just not in the right situation, and they need to make that trade to evolve. So let me know what your thoughts are. If anything else that I missed, let me know in the comments. Take it easy.